Hello, my friends. My name is Harold, and welcome to the Sanctum. We shall be moving on to the next episode on the series, the next zodiac sign in the series, and we shall be talking about the zodiac sign of Aquarius in this particular video. Now, as I mentioned in all of the other videos in this series, if I'm talking about the zodiac sign of Aquarius, I'm not necessarily talking about you if you happen to be a sun sign Aquarius. In other words, you identify as an Aquarius because you were born in that particular period, I think around the time of the 20th of January to the 18th of February, where the sun would be in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. I'm not necessarily talking about you, I'm talking about the archetypal nature and the archetypal energy of Aquarius as a sign. Okay, so that being said, let's dive right into it. So, first of all, Aquarius is the water bearer. Okay, and it's the first human sign, first and only human sign, apart from the twins, the only singular human sign in the zodiac chart, right, in the 12 zodiac signs. So the reason for this is, first of all, it's the water bearer. So it's depicted as an individual, a human being, holding a jug of water and pouring the water. So oftentimes people think that the sign of Aquarius is associated with the element of water. However, this is incorrect. The zodiac sign of Aquarius is actually an air sign, and it is fixed air, okay, because it is a very intellectual sign. And the reason why it's depicted as the water bearer and somebody who's holding water is because Aquarius is a sign that first of all, water is one of those essential things that we need for life, and giving water to somebody is that it's symbolic of quenching their thirst in that sense. So Aquarius is the sign of giving to others. So what I mean by that is providing that which others need. It's the most humanitarian of all the signs, and it rules groups of individuals. So groups of individuals meaning organizations, collectives, societies. All of this is very Aquarian, and Aquarius likes to ensure that everyone is equal, everyone is sorted. Okay, and it is the sign of innovation, of invention, of science and technology, and of magnetism and electricity in that way. Hence why the zodiac symbol associated with Aquarius, it's there on the title of this video, they look almost like two waves, but they're not actually the waves of water, as in the waves you would see in the sea or in an ocean, but they are the waves of electromagnetism, like Wi-Fi signals or infrared signals or microwaves or things like that, electromagnetic waves, because it is the sign of the future, right? It is a sign of humanity, the human brain. In other words, this is the sign. The reason why it's human is because, first of all, it's concerned about humanity and where humanity is going, but it also uses the intelligence of the human brain to create and improve society and groups. So in other words, science, hence why it's associated with science. Okay, so for this reason, it's associated also with the science that is used to connect and create groups of people. So for example, social media is a very good example of an Aquarian thing, because first of all, it creates connections, because Aquarius also rules friends. Okay, but it also does this, it creates this connection, this group, this collective, using technology. Okay, so this is another example of something that is Aquarian in nature. And it can be a very unpredictable sign, okay, as humans are very unpredictable in comparison to all of the other animals. If you were to say, if you all the other signs, they're not as unpredictable as the Aquarian sign. Okay, so an Aquarius likes to help others, to ensure everybody has what they need to be fulfilled. But now an Aquarius can get so caught up in the science of things, in the analytical and intellectual aspect of things, that it can sometimes, this is one of the dark sides of Aquarius, it can seem to know it all, that the Aquarius knows everything, so it doesn't really need to know anything else. And also get too stuck in technology and the developments of science itself, that it starts to rely on it a bit too much. And when an Aquarius starts to rely on these things a bit too much, it can create a separation between the actual groups of people, because it's relying on these other things. So for example, even though social media has been a huge plus in many sense of the word when it first came out, it also has created a lot of separation, a lot of problems with people, especially those who have got really invested and involved. Same with with technology, the mobile phone. People are always now on it, to the point in which now some people don't even know how to use a map anymore, because they rely on Google Maps, or bother to learn the directions from one place to another, because I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna look up Google Maps. So in that same way, people start to rely on this rather than the intelligence of the human brain. So because it is also the zodiac sign that's associated with the future, you can see how the future is unpredictable, and you can see how that's linked to Aquarius's unpredictability as well. But also the future requires invention to allow that particular to allow the race to move forward in that way, right? So through the want of Aquarius to help humanity, when Aquarius notices that there's an imbalance in some way, that people are not equal, they can begin to rebel, right? To ensure these changes take place. So hence why Aquarius is a sign of rebellion and revolution, to ensure that these changes take place. Now, oftentimes the dark side of this is they can get caught up in revolution, to the point in which the revolution actually becomes the thing that they're fighting against. It just goes on a full circle, and they end up, the change takes place, but not really having the effect that Aquarius in general wanted there to be. Okay, it's a very eccentric sign, and is often called the jester, or the joker. Now, I mentioned that Capricorn is the comedian, but the Capricorn has this seriousness in what they're doing, and the comedy is a way of breaking the ice, whereas Aquarius is a natural jester, in terms of a joker, someone who wants to be naturally funny to entertain the groups of people that Aquarius is so comfortable being with. It's a very social sign, and it is a sign of freedom. Hence, once again, rebellion, revolution can also be linked to the fight for freedom. So it is also the sign of personal freedom, one's own personal freedom to go out and do things, to live comfortably, equally with the rest of humanity. Now, another dark side of this is when Aquarius becomes too attached to this, it can lead to communism, right? But also the use of technology, when Aquarius gets too invested in the use of technology, especially in terms of technological development, Aquarius can forget that pollution is a result of this advancement. So it's also the sign associated with pollution. And of course, even if you look at humans are the only, if not the main, species on Earth that we know of that is creating great amounts of pollution on Earth. Hence why, once again, Aquarius is associated with the human being as an avatar. Right. So apart from that, the tarot card associated with Aquarius is the Star tarot card, and the planet that rules Aquarius is also Saturn, which is being the primary ruler in ancient astrology. And in modern astrology, it also has a second ruler, and the second ruler is Uranus. Okay, and you can see how Uranus is associated as well in tarot, even though this is not really a series about tarot, just a little bit of tarot. Is Uranus can be associated with the Fool as well, which is a jester. All right, and the opposite of Aquarius on the zodiac sign, on the zodiac wheel of the year, is Leo, which is the king. Right, which is the king, associated with the king. It is the sun, it's the king of the jungle. So the king and the jester, right? And the only person who can make jokes about the king to make the king laugh is, of course, the jester. So that's an interesting correspondence there. So apart from that, in a nutshell, it is the sign of groups. It's the sign of science and technology and the future. It is the sign of helping others and humanitarianism, and invention and innovation. So very quickly, I'd also like to touch on the idea of the current age we're in, or we're just transitioning, or we're in, but we're still in a transition period of what we call the age of Aquarius. Okay, so right now we are in the age of Aquarius, and you can see now how all of these particular aspects are coming into being in our society. An age or a yuga, as it's called in yoga, lasts about 2000 to 2600, 2200, around that period of time. It varies depending on systems and schools of thought, but it's around 2000 years is an age, and an entire precession of the equinox is around 26,000 years, around that time. So in this particular age is the age of Aquarius, and you can see this is the age where technology is now being revered. Science is now almost, has taken a very, very powerful form, and it's all about the future. It's all about technology, and you can see how now technological and corporations and organizations are now even more powerful in some sense than countries itself. It rules countries, like especially tech corporations nowadays. They're right on top. So you can see how now from the previous age, which was the age of Pisces, which was the age of institutionalized religion, and that this is now being usurped by the science and that particular Aquarian mindset, and now intelligence is being recognized as well as that which is higher than everything else, right? And you can see also more and more people are standing up to fight for making the earth a better place, that humanitarian vibe that people are also starting to move into. So this is an example of how Aquarius and the age of Aquarius too is why it's called the age of Aquarius. You can see the energies of the archetype of Aquarius beginning to permeate itself through life as we are during this particular period of time. So I hope all of this makes sense, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Thank you, take care, and I shall see you very soon.